Hi everyone, welcome to ESC Fan TV. It's Friday night and this is the fourth time in a row we've done this in Eurovision season. It's right, it's MGP 2020, 2021 even, semi-final 4 or Heat 4 preview. That's right. Tonight it's all about the 4 songs that are going to compete for a ticket to the final of Melodi Grand Prix in just a few weeks' time. Lots of great songs have qualified already, and out of these 4, we want to know which is the very best. But more importantly, we want you to tell us. We want you to vote for your favourite entry this evening. And you can do this through visiting menti.com using the code 153985 and 2. That's 153985 and 2. And we're going to play those songs and represent them very shortly. We're going to say hello to my panel first. Say hello to the panel. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give them a wave. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wave to the chat room. Hey, everyone. Welcome to tonight's show. We've got people joining the panel night all the way from Belgium, from Sweden, from Cyprus, and, of course, from the United Kingdom. Tonight, the rules are very simple. All we're going to do is take you through all 4 songs and also play the pre-qualifier and give you our opinions on which songs could qualify. Ultimately, you can influence who wins by choosing menti.com and voting as we go. Thank you to those who joined the chat room. You may have noticed that my co-host is not with us tonight, but he is in spirit. In fact, he's somewhere in the chat room chatting away. So he will put your comments up on screen as we go. Keep your comments coming in. We want to hear why and how you think these songs might qualify tomorrow night. We want to hear about your favourites. We want to hear about the ones you think may not make it. Should we get on with the show? Let's do it. And we can meet the panelists for each song. We're going to start with the very first song tonight. This song is Landeveiens Helter with the song Alde Die. Let's take a listen. So, a group of 4 pretty well-known faces in Norway. In fact, some of them have been in MGP before. Lars was in MGP back in 2012, and Runa was in Melodi Grand Prix 4 times back in 1989, 2001, 2017, and of course this year. Lars has actually written this song, and it is very much a traditional Schlager type number, but it is certainly a bit of a foot stomper. Joe, I'm going to come to you first. Nice to see you on the show tonight, Joe.
Lovely to be back. Thank you.
I imagine this song is right up your street, Joe. Would I be right in thinking so?
You certainly would. Yeah, come on, let's face it. Justice for Guba again. And you know how much I love a Vingana as well. So, of course, I'm going to love this one. Absolutely amazing.
And how do you think this one might do, Joe? What are you kind of expecting tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they're obviously 4 popular guys anyway. It's the Norwegian song. It's the folk song that we're all craving to actually be in that final. I think they're going to do really, really well. What's it translated as? All that is, I think, song is. So, yeah, I just think that everyone's going to get going. It especially depends, obviously, what duel they go for. You know, they get picked on, but if they're first, or they're just going to really, really go for it. And if there was a crowd, they'd obviously win the crowd over, because there won't be a crowd. It's going to be the audience at home instead. I think it's going to win.
Oh, interesting. The first one out of the box. I think it might win. I'm going to come to Steve next, actually. Steve, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
Yes, what do you think about this one?
It's okay. It's got a nice sound to it. It's very catchy. I don't think it's a winner, though. But and I wonder if some of these guys were perhaps better known in years gone by. But we don't have our Norwegian expert tonight, do we? But I think it's nice. I think it's very, very catchy, very rocky Schlager type of stuff. But I'm not sure it'll get through, so I'm slightly disagreeing with Joe. But Joe's probably right. She always is. She who must be obeyed.
Thank you, Steve. We're going to move to Belgium next. We'll say hello and good evening to Alina.
Good evening.
Alina, now, if I think back to Melfest last year, our Vingana were incredibly popular and did so well getting to the final again. This feels to me quite similar in a good way. I think when I heard it, immediately got my feet moving. Mm-hmm. How do you feel like this will do tomorrow evening?
I hope it will end up in the golden final, but I don't think it will go to the final. But I hope it will do well. And I like it. I mean, it has some things that are, like for me, the beginning is actually kind of the same start as the Friends theme song. I don't know if it's me or are there more people. Like, I mean, we're already with 2, so I think more people will notice that. And it's a happy, dancey song, and everybody has to love that. I mean, like, yeah. And it sticks in your head like all day today. I was like, oh, did I do, like, yeah. Sorry,
yeah, I'm the same. That's exactly how I've been all day. I've been tapping my foot, and every time it comes on, there's quite a beat to it. Actually, It does get you going. I have to say, Ian and Donna, good evening, all the way from Scotland. Good to have you on the show. What kind of staging would we expect tomorrow? Is this going to be quite similar, do you think, to our Vingana and maybe Zigupa last year, or do we think this might be staged more quirky?
I kind of hope they go with a band kind of setup. I don't want this to look too boy bandish, although it'll be very dad.
That'll be more dad bandish.
But because I think that didn't help with I forgot the name of the group, the Barndomsgatter, which it just came across as too much of a boy band. This has got a much folkier, rockier sound to it, so it should kind of look more like that.
Yeah.
But I really like this one.
It's got your run rig vibes that you were looking for, isn't it? Really, this one, yeah.
Yeah, similar to Barndomsgatter. It's got that. There's a kind of overlap into some Scottish folk rock there, so it's I really like this one. This is my favourite of the night, I think.
Yeah, I hope they don't go down the Via Norga kind of way with the kind of Morris dancing kind of look about it. I'd rather it not be too quirky. Keep it the band feel, and then you got a real stomper on your hands, I think.
Yeah, because this song feels like it could be played live by a band. Not every song has that in the competition, so it'd be nice to see that.
I really want to see them come out tomorrow night and actually give it some welly, though. I really want to see them come out with some attitude, because I actually think this is the type of song that you can really perform the heck out of and really make it work live, regardless of whether there's an audience or not. Just coming back to Joe for a second on this. Joe, these guys have been in Melodi Grand Prix before. They've kind of done the circuit. Some of them are in their own bands. Do you think that's an advantage for them?
It could be. I mean, it's going to be a different experience for them, though, isn't it? Because they have had all the audience before. So, and I think that's the same for every single one that's been there before. I think more, I suppose that because they're a little bit older as well, they're not going to have, potentially they're not going to have the nerves. I hope I haven't cursed it, but they shouldn't have the nerves that some of the younger guys on the show tomorrow will have. And I mean, maybe they'll go out there with an attitude of, we've got nothing to lose, let's just go out there and just give it some welly. And I do actually really think that they will. Totally agree with all the comments tonight as well. I do think that they need to go out there and just play it like a band, and it's a slightly grown up version of VR Norg or something. It is slightly rocky as well, so it's going to appeal. I think it really is going to appeal.
I think it appeals to quite a broad spectrum on tonight's panel. I've been monitoring the chat room this evening. Tom's there. I can see him actually in the green room. He's getting his food, so he'll be with you shortly, chatters. You can't see. It's an in-joke. Apologies for that. We're going to move on to song 2. And song 2 is, well, I kind of feel like I've maybe heard something like this before, but what do you think? Let's have a listen to Pages.
I never turn pages.
So song 2, that's Marianne Pentha with Mikkel Gaup with the song Pages. That's the first time in Melodi Grand Prix, although they're reasonably well known. Marianne is actually the voice of Elsa in Frozen 2 in Norway, and she was also in The Voice in 2012. And I understand Mikkel is actually pretty well known. He's been in a few films. In fact, one Oscar-winning film in Norway. So yeah, pretty well-known duo. Solid mid-tempo pop song for me. I love the Sami vibe to it. In fact, I love the key change, but then I have to love a key change because it doesn't every Eurovision fan. They also wrote the song, so lots to say, lots of positive things to say about this. I'm going to go to Sweden first, to my old mate Gustav. How you going, mate?
If I understood what you said, it would be even better.
Gustav, what do you make of this one?
I mean, it's not bad, but it's not fantastic either. I listened to it like 1 or 2 times, and I was like, "Yeah, this is good." But then when I stop listening, it's over, and I won't remember it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm going to go to Elliot, I think, because I want to ask a question about the Sami vibe. And there's obviously going to be comparisons with Kano, because Kano are in the final already, and the Sami vibe is very, very clear and apparent in their song Monument. I kind of feel it's unfair to compare them, though, because they're very different songs. But in this instance, does the combination of pop with Sami work for you?
It does and it doesn't. We can't compare them to Kino or Monument full stop, because they're a totally different band with a totally different sound, and that's from Spirit in the Sky and everything. This is more like John Henrik and Anenia in Melodifestivalen, where you had the yoiking over the main melody of it. And that being said, I'm not sure if it's completely needed. I feel like I could listen to this song without the Sami influence, and it wouldn't be massively different. The song's fine enough as it is. The yoiking's a nice little touch. Unlike you, I don't love the key change because I don't like every single Eurovision trope. I don't think it's necessary. It's fine. It's pleasant. Is it a standout, though? No. And like you said, people are instantly going to compare this to Jon Henrik or Kino. And I don't see a final where we've got 2 Sami songs or Sami-influenced songs in the final, though, sadly. If we want to go even further, Ellen in the Woods last year sent a brilliant song with a Sami touch, and that didn't make the final, so I'm not really, I'm not hedging my bets on this one, let's say.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I'd forgotten about Ellen in the Woods. It was a good song. It was a good song indeed. Ian and Donna, could the fact that this has got Sami in it potentially turn viewers on or off, given that they're aware that we already have one Sami song in the final? Could there be a swing?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it actually sounds more melodic, the use of it here. So it's very much more voices used as music rather than actual vocal addition. So I think it lifts it actually in a way. And Elliot's right. It can't be compared to Kino. It's something very different indeed. And I suppose, again, it's a bit like having the Norwegian language versus the English language. So we'll just have to see how it does. It could do really quite well, because it's got that kind of, it blends with the music quite nicely and gives it another level. So let's see. It could do well.
Yeah, it uses it very differently. It's more of a bed under the English song voice, whereas with kind of Monument, the first thing you hear is Fred, and the sound is right in the front of the song, and it's very much more prominent. I think I'm not sure which way it's going to go, which one people will prefer, but I certainly don't think it's going to disadvantage it in any way.
No.
It does work nicely in the song, whether you like the Sami stuff or not. It does work nicely in the music. So yeah, it certainly won't disadvantage it in any way.
It kind of reminds me of John Henrik Fahlgren in Sweden a couple of years ago with the duet he did, and I can't remember the title because it's so blimmin' long. Something Avstrida, which Gustav will destroy me over now because the fact I can't. I probably butchered that as I always do, but it's a beautiful song, I think, and I can draw comparisons to that pretty easily. Joe, this could be an interesting one to be staged. How do you envisage the staging being played out tomorrow night?
I think there's going to be a backdrop of Northern Lights, isn't there? Or certainly sort of a northern theme. You know, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. That will be different to what KiiM have done, and it certainly isn't a song anywhere, you know, near the same. But I think there's going to be some sort of beautiful lights there, I reckon, anyway. You know, as everyone has said, I mean, it's melodic, and it's got to have that nice background to set it off, because it's a lovely song. It really is.
It absolutely is. And Steve, let's bring you in. How does this kind of rank for you out of some of the songs we've heard across Melodi Grand Prix so far? Because let's remind ourselves that regardless of which song goes through tomorrow night, there will also be a wild card on the 15th of February, which could be any song that hasn't been selected already out of the qualifiers. Is this a strong one for you?
Yeah, I like it. I know the comparisons with Monument are inevitable, aren't they? But it is different. And I think, as somebody mentioned earlier, I think it was you, Donna, it is very melodic, and it's very, very catchy. And it's nice to see something that's both pop and kind of in the Norwegian culture, so to speak. I mean, you'll never get the UK having a song with a Hey Nonny No and a maypole in the staging. I mean, that represents some of our culture, and long may that be the case, I would say. But I like this. I think it's a nice pop song. If it doesn't get through, I very much doubt whether it will be picked as a wild card, because I think they're going to look for diversity in that. And that might be a Norwegian language song or something that really stands out and would make the show more complete. I feel that's the way they're going to allocate the wild card.
You could very well be right. So there you go. There's the first two songs. If either of those two songs were your favourites, make sure that you give them the love they deserve by going to menti.com and voting for them using the code 15, 39, 85 and 2. We are going to move on to the third song of the evening now, and this is a bit right on my street, actually. This is Circus.
Nah, 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 nah. I'm on a roll like a circus. I give him show. Bro, I'm the ringmaster. You already know. No, I give him show. I need that dough.
So, Moroccan-born independent artist Royane makes her debut in Melodi Grand Prix. However, she's pretty well known in Norway. She's one of those influencers that's you're always on Instagram. You know the type. You've seen them. She's also on TikTok, and she makes her own music videos. So, Royane with Circus. This, for me, is a bit of pop with attitude. I absolutely love this, and I can almost visualise how great the performance and staging might be tomorrow night. I think we're going to have some fun, guys. Let's go to Marius. Marius, this is going to be fun, isn't it? And is this a favourite of yours? Can you kind of get behind this one?
Hello, guys. No, sorry. The only thing I will agree with what you just said is that she will put a good show on tomorrow. Why do I keep thinking of Ayan Nakamura with $1 million? Do you remember that song? Allo, 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 $1 million. It's so similar to that. No, this does nothing for me. Maybe I'm getting too old, and these kind of sounds are really starting to irritate me. It's a pop song. It's good. It's different. It's fresh. But this has to rely on staging and how well she will perform it. And I think these are the two main things she needs to focus on tomorrow. But no, it's not the kind of song that I would vote for. And I think that she shouldn't go through tomorrow.
Oh,
Sorry.
Thumbs down from Marius. I'm going to go to Elena. Elena, this kind of, for me, is a bit Elaney and has the ability to be really quite special. What do you make of this? I've got a feeling, by the way, before I ask you, I've got a feeling I'm going to get thumbs down from all four. A bit like last week. Go on then. Oh, take it away.
Somebody said if you have nothing good to say, then shut up. Yeah. I don't like it. It's not my thing. Yeah. It will be my toilet break song.
Oh dear. I'm pretty sure that the performance tomorrow night is going to change a lot of opinions. Steve, anything from you to say about this on a positive front?
Not really. It feels as though it's something out of RuPaul's Drag Race in a bad way to me. And I suspect that the performance will be along those lines. I found it's something about me being near my old age pension, I'm sure, but it's not in my head. So I didn't like it at all. Is it a favourite? I suspect that this is one of the favourites to get through. I don't know. But I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. However, I've now realised why I love it so much. If you like Chains on You.
Race, yeah. Chains on. Oh, yes.
You love it. There you go. I was thinking all day, why do I love this so much? There you go. Chains on You. Guaranteed to qualify now. Isn't that right, Elliot?
No. But I don't know how I follow up what Steve just said. Like, that was brilliant. I've just checked the odds very quickly. It's the least likely to qualify. It's bottom of the betting odds, and I can see why. And I know why Stuart loves this song, because it's exactly the same thing that LMK did in France. Generic, basic pop song with trivial lyrics over the top of it. It's your average pop song, and it's nothing special. And this is gonna sound. She sounds bored when she's singing it. It's like nah. Like there's none of this, and we know what's going to happen. She's going to look like a Britney Spears Ringmaster Circus ripoff on stage. It's going to look cheap and tacky. Some people will love it. I'm pretty sure I won't. And if this gets through, I might have a heart attack on stream. Like, this cannot qualify, surely. Like, I'm sure she that's the thing. Like, it's so there. The only thing she can do elevating it live is anything. Like, it can't go much lower, surely. Like, I'm not feeling this at all, sorry.
Well, you see, she's a dancer. She's a singer. She's... there's so many things that suggest to me that this is going to be the performance tomorrow night. And I'm not going to say it's going to qualify, because you guys are telling me it's not, and I would be the only one who would say, and I'm not going to come out and throw myself to the wolves quite like that yet. However, with the right performance, I think this can go higher than most of you think. So we'll put that at that for now. Yeah, I'm going to move on pretty quickly, because I don't think I'm winning this one, am I? I think that's fairly clear. Is there anybody on the panel that likes this? No. Okay, we're going to move on. I wonder if there's anyone in the chat room. No, there isn't. There isn't there either. Okay, well, we're going to move on to song 4. This is KiiM with My Lonely Voice.
And I tried so hard to let you in, but we couldn't fix our broken strings, and my lonely voice goes.
So that's right, song 4 is My Lonely Voice by 30-year-old Kim Rinnehagen. And he's competing in MGP for his very first time. Third place, however, in Norwegian Idol back in 2007. So, what can you say about this? A beautiful ballad with a haunting vocal. It's written by KiiM as well. So I'm loving the fact that almost every artist this week has written their own song. We should get more of that in Eurovision. It's very important. Let's go and talk to Elliot on this, I think, first tonight on this. He finished third on Norwegian Idol. Is that an advantage, do you think?
It helps, because then the public will know who he is, and especially like when you've got, a brand new artist with a debut single like Royane, that's massively going to help. But I do think this is the clear winner tomorrow night, like, hands down, and that it's the only one of these 4 songs that there's nothing you can compare it to in the final already, which in itself is a massive advantage. He's got a great voice. It's a brilliant voice. He sounds just like Adam Levine, which is really weird. It's a bit like he's Ursula Adam Levine and taken his voice, but that's not a bad thing. That's just it's brilliant though, and you can tell that he's wrote it and it's really personal. And with the right lighting and staging, I think it's going through. Like, I can't really see a world where this doesn't qualify, and I do think this is like the dark horse in the semi-finals to make the final 2 or win it in the final.
Thank you, Elliot. Well, there you go. Potential winner.
I can be nice. I can be nice tonight. I just proved
absolutely.
it.
Yeah. The rumours are not true. However, people, can I remind you of Australia Decides last year and a certain Jack Vidgen with a song not too dissimilar that unfortunately was performed very poorly on the night. Is this the type of song where a poor vocal can be an absolute catastrophe? Steve?
Definitely. But I think he's got a beautiful voice. His higher register is spot on. I know this is a recording, but I think it's a very haunting song. He's got a lovely, lovely voice, and I think this is the obvious winner from the 4 that I heard. And I think there's only one weak song in the form. We've talked about that in the last slot. It's all going to be down to the staging. It's got to be kind of a very simple staging, and he does need to be on point with the vocals. But I suspect the experience in Idol will really help there. So I think this is really one to watch in the final if it gets through as well. I think it's superb. Love it.
Thank you, Steve. I know somebody else who's a huge fan of this song is our friend from Sweden. It's Gustav. Gustav, you've been telling me all day that you love this song. That's why you love it so much.
It's everything I want from a song. It's beautiful. His voice is almost perfection, and I feel so much when I'm listening to it. Norway, you don't even need MGP. You should just send this. This is the best song you have so far.
Thank you, Gustav. So a couple of years ago, there was a certain Dutchman who appeared out of nowhere, sat in front of a piano with some weird light that almost hit him on the head as it dropped. A certain Duncan Lawrence with a very similar haunting ballad. Not exactly the same, obviously, but it has similar themes and makes you feel similar in feeling. Alina, you were a huge fan of Duncan Lawrence Arcade. What do you make of this one?
I
made that up, by the way, in case anyone had noticed, just from her reaction. I felt the need to admit to that. But she did, honestly. She told me, truthfully, that she loves Duncan Lawrence's Arcade.
Afterwards, yeah. But anyway, let me just say that for me, Kino should win. And if Kino goes to Eurovision, I just give them the trophy of Eurovision. Let me just clear that out. But this could win Melodi Grand Prix. I could see this if it is sung well, this will go to Eurovision, even though I want Kino to go. But anyway, yeah.
Thank you very much, Alina. And finally, Marius. Let's see if we can make it a clean sweep of thumbs up from yourself this evening. Is this a thumbs up for you?
You know when you suck on something like a Malteser or a Galaxy?
Hang on. Where are we going with this?
Okay, you know that hot fuzzy feeling you get? That melts me. That voice just melts me. I mean, this guy obviously is an excellent performer. I mean, it's so raw. And it just gets you. And I mean, the only thing that might go against him is if he does a bad vocal, but I very much doubt that because he seems very, very professional. This is a great song. I mean, I got a friend of mine to listen to it today, and he made the reference to Duncan, and I said, no, this is completely different. And to be honest with you, I was going through a rough time when Arcade came out, and that song touched me so much. But this one is just one of those songs that you hear for the first time and it gets you. And no matter what you do, you can't get it out of your head. I really, really hope nothing goes wrong tomorrow, because if this doesn't get picked tomorrow, I seriously will dress as Big Daddy and go on the next show in pink.
You're right. Did anyone get that? Can we make sure that's recorded?
You're on.
Well, seeing as on the final I've got to dress as Rayleigh, maybe we should just all come as MGP characters, Marius.
Yes, why not?
Steve's busy thinking about who he's coming as.
I just couldn't get the image of you dressed as Rayleigh out of my head, Stuart, and it wasn't a good image, to be honest. Remember how
it's
tight
not a
that
good image, let me tell you.
Under the circumstances.
It really doesn't work very well, let me tell you. There are your 4 songs. I think the level this week's better than last week, I have to say. From a personal point of view, I think MGP have upped the game. As I said they would. Always have that dip by about Heat 3. Expect next week to be even better. But that's not the last song of the evening. And by the way, there's still time for you to vote for your favourite of the 4. You need to go to menti.com. That's right, Alina. It's 15, 39, 85 and 2. 15, 39, 85 and 2. Yep. Just because I'm hosting, nothing ever misses. I don't ever miss anything. You know, I can always see. Got great eyes. 15, 39. What was the number? I've forgotten it. 15. There we go. 15, 39, 85 and 2. Right. There's a 5th song of the evening, the pre-qualifier. And it's Atle Pettersen and his song, World on. Talk about a foot stomper. This is also an earworm. I was listening to this earlier and bang, bang, bang in my head. Atle Pettersen, he's written this song along with a few others. He's a 31-year-old singer-songwriter, and he has been on the X Factor in the past, back in 10. He also more recently won Dancing with the Stars. So when you start to frame that, you start thinking he's a singer, he can write songs, he's a dancer, and he's got a pop dance song. Sounds good, right? I think tomorrow night we're going to have a performance. Yeah. What can you say? Up-tempo pop dance. We're going to go to Marius first for this one. I think he looks a bit like Eric Sade, doesn't he? What do you think? Tell us in the chat room if you think he looks like Eric Sade. I think he does. What are you expecting from this one?
I think this song is it's good. I like it. It's good listening to it. It gives you a nice feeling. From the pre-qualifiers so far, I wouldn't say it's the strongest. And it's funny because I'm listening to all the songs that we've already listened to in the last 4 weeks. And I've got a sneaky review thing about Tix. I'm starting to believe that Tix might just do this. But I think this song, it will be somewhere middle scoreboard at the final. He seems nice, good voice. Up-tempo song, but some songs are better than this, definitely.
Thank you, Gustav. Ian and Donna, how does this compare with some of the other finalists that we've heard so far?
Well, I think it's going to be a middle-of-the-road one again, unfortunately. It's not going to wow my socks off when I first heard it, and I thought, wow, there's lots of songs with fire in this year as well. But it'll do a good performance, definitely. I've no doubt about that. Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, I think his performance will be good, but it's pretty middle of the road, pretty generic pop. I'm not mad keen on his voice. He's off the habit of overemphasizing fire and higher.
Isn't that a bit like Maroon 5 though? Haven't we heard that somewhere?
It's a little bit annoying, but I think it's going to do a good job of it, but it's not a great song.
This one might depend on the placing as well, where the running order sits for the final, I think. And it's going to be one of those.
Yeah, and from Martin Palmer's comment, I definitely think he's Nick Vanilla Ice's jacket in that picture.
The hair's not sharp enough for vanilla. It needs to
No.
be sharper.
I kind of, when I think of this song, and I think of last year's MGP final, I must kind of compare it to Take My Time. I don't know if you remember that song, but I think it finished about 5th or 6th. I'm sure I get corrected. Good song, good pop song. But it was a bit Benjamin Ingrosso. This is a bit Benjamin Ingrosso. It's a bit Eric Saleh, perhaps a bit Danny Salcedo. I think it could do well, but I'm with you guys. I don't see this as a potential winner. I'm going to go to Joe next. Joe, there's some great songs in the final, no doubt about it. And this is another one I think could be one that perhaps could contend, but not necessarily win. How do you kind of rank this in comparison to some of the other songs?
I think it's going to get lost. I really do. I think I agree with what Donna was saying. You know, sort of middle of the road. Not the worst song by any means that's qualified, but certainly nowhere near the best. And I don't think it's gonna get into the final four unless he goes just because he's a popular guy. But then being winning Dancing with the Stars and being a good celebrity dancer isn't the same as actually having a song that Norway as a whole want to send to Eurovision. So I don't think it's going to get through.
Thank you, Joe. I'm going to Sweden next. Good stuff. Good stuff. What kind of performance do you think we'll get tomorrow night? Are we going to get something where you got 4 or 5 backing dancers and an athlete at the front? Do we think?
I think that's the only thing I can see, and I think that if he doesn't have a couple of dancers and stuff like that, it will be even more blonde and boring than it already is. But then again, when you look like he does, everything is forgiven. So,
what can you be talking about, Gustav? No idea what he's going on about. And finally, Steve, what are you expecting from this performance?
Oh, I think he's going to perform the fuck out of it, to be honest. There'll be dancers, he'll be dancing. It'll be a good show, I would expect. And I think the vocal, this is probably not a terribly difficult song to sing either, so I think he can afford to sing and dance at the same time. I really like the soaring instrumentation in it. I think that gives it a little bit of a mystic feel. But I pretty much agree with what everybody's saying, that it's very unlikely to reach the top 4 in the final, judging from what we've seen so far. But I like it. I think it's really catchy, but it is quite generic, to be honest.
Thanks, Steve. I want to bring back Annie Jowett's point. I don't know if you can find it. He's charismatic. Wait till you see him. She's written. So actually, now we've got someone who's a great singer, great dancer, and can really make a song work live on stage. You've got 3 fantastic mixtures there coming together. I wouldn't rule this one out. I'm really looking forward to see how this will play out. And I'm going to come to the dancer of the group. I'm going to come to Elliot to round this one off, even though he doesn't know I was doing that. Elliot, this has potential to be okay, doesn't it? This could be a climber.
Oh yeah, sure. Like I said, it's middle of the road. It's inoffensive. It's very UK Eurovision. If the UK sent this as an internal selection, I wouldn't be shocked. And yeah, he's won Dance with the Stars. So, throwing a cha-cha lockstep here and there, do a check. You'll win me over. That's fine. But yeah, the song gets that third gear in the first minute, and then it just stays there. And that's my biggest gripe, because it climbs really well, and then it just stays there. And I just want it to go a bit more. That being said, that could happen with the live performance. And yes, he can dance. And he is charismatic. But if he focuses too much on that, his voice could go. So he does need to play it really carefully. As for what it can do in the final, I'm not sure, because I just wasn't wowed on first listen. So I guess we'll have to see tomorrow if he can lift it. But there definitely is potential to lift it.
Thanks, Elliot. So there you have it. There are 5. Don't forget, it's on NRK tomorrow night at 7:50 Central European time. Just enough time to watch that. And if you're wondering whether to watch that or watch Melfest, don't watch Melfest. Don't bother. You can watch it on SVT Play later on in the evening. That's the way to do it. Watch them back to back. Then you've got a whole evening of Eurovision. And then, do you know what? Whilst you've got SVT Play on your tablet or whatever, come and join us at the show at 10 p.m. Central European Time tomorrow night, and we're going to dissect what happened in Norway. And guess what? The following night at 9 p.m. Central European Time, we are going to start our Melfest reviews. Oh yes, Melfest is back. Can't wait. You guys in the chat room watching tonight's show, you have been voting for which song you think will qualify. Before we put the results up, just a reminder to like or dislike if you hated tonight's show. And we'd also like you to leave comments. And if you haven't already, ding a dong our bell. It's very important if you ding a dong our bell. Do you know why? It's because we can tell you when we go live. Why would you want to miss a show? Very, very important. Even more important than subscribing, but I suspect you already have now. Otherwise, why the heck are you here? So thank you very much for joining us this evening. We're now going to find out who you have voted for. Do you know what I'm going to do very quickly, actually? I'm going to go around the chat room, not the chat room, I'm going to go around my panel, in fact, and just ask my panel to give one name to who they think will qualify tonight. We're going to start with Marios.
KiiM.
KiiM. Nice. Steve.
KiiM.
Thank you very much. Ian and Donna.
I hope Altogether goes through.
Yeah, the
Right,
band.
okay. Alta
I
Die.
suspect Kim
Thank you
will.
very much.
you.
Gustav.
Do you even have to ask me? Of course, KiiM.
I'm contractually obliged to come to you, even though I knew your answer. Joe.
I think Alda Die.
Ooh, okay. So what's that? That's 3-2 now. Elena.
That one group that I forgot the name. Like I
Okay.
don't know. Like yeah.
It's okay. It's a draw, 3-3, and then Ilya has the deciding vote, and it depends how well him and Gustav have been getting on now, whether they will continue that trend or not.
Oh, God, why did you come to me last? No, I think KiiM's gonna go through. Like I said, I think out of MGP so far, it stands out the most. So I'm gonna say KiiM.
There you go. Closer than I thought, though. But good to get our panel's view. Right, let's find out what the chat room think. So you've been voting all evening. Thank you very much for your votes. Let's close those votes down now, so we can't influence the result live. And the winner tonight, with 229 votes, is of course KiiM with My Lonely Voice. Second place, Alda Die. Third place, Pages, and fourth place, Circus. So that confirms that I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to music, as always. Great stuff. Fab. Okay, so that's good because I'm not on tomorrow night, so you can talk about something else. So tomorrow night, Tom will be back hosting, and I get a night off. Thank goodness for that. I will be back, though, on Sunday for the Melody Festivalen show. That's it, remember. It's tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Central European Time, and Sunday, 9 p.m. Central European Time. Also, if you want more content, go and check out Elliot's live interview with Terence James from France. He's a great guy, Terence, and you will love this interview. It's all the way from the south of France, and he appears to be having a wonderful time in the very hot weather, and we're not jealous at all. That's it. Let's have a little listen to the winning song, which, of course, is KiiM.
And I tried so hard to let you in, but we couldn't fix our broken strings, and my lonely voice goes.
So I think without further ado, all I can left to say now is thank you to my panel this evening. A big thank you to Marius all the way from Cyprus.
Thank you, guys. Great show. This is getting very exciting.
It is, isn't it? We're getting closer as well now. Can you believe there's only one more semi-final left? Where's all the time gone?
Yep.
Before you know it, it's funny, isn't it? You sort of get into January, and before you know it, it's March. And then you're like, oh, is that it? There's no more semi-finals or national finals to come. Oh, well. Melfest to keep us going. Thank you very much to Sweden. It's Gustav.
Thank you, guys. I will see you on Sunday.
We will see you Sunday. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much to Steve.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this and you have a good time tomorrow watching the fourth semi-final.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be a good one. Thank you very much to Ian and Donald all the way from Scotland.
See you later, guys.
evening.
Great
We'll see you
show.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much to Belgium's finest. We're not talking about chocolates now. It's Alina.
See you tomorrow.
And finally, big thanks to kind of my co-host tonight. It's Joe and Elliot. So I'm going to say thank you very much to Joe first.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks to everyone in the chat room. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
And big thanks to Elliot.
Thank you, guys. This has been great fun as well. See you tomorrow for more madness.
Exactly. And if you're missing Tom, don't worry. Tom will be back tomorrow night. He's in the chat room. Make sure you give him all the love. It's the final few moments as we say goodbye. But we'll see you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central European Time. Bye-bye for now.